Did you see what happened yesterday? Candace Owens came out and described her sit down with Erica Kirk, and I think everybody was tuned in. She had over like 300,000 viewers live, and within an hour, it had about 1 million views. I don't know what it's at right now. I guess you could see over 3 million views right now of her sit down reenactment and just description of it, of the event happened and how it all went down. I think it blew us all away. If you were tuned in, you were locked in because we were on the edge of our seats. We wanted to find what happened, what went down. And as it turned out, to me, it turned out a huge nothing burger. Nothing more was found out. And I think everything that she had been saying about Turning Point USA, at least in that vein, was just found null and void. Nothing to see here. There really was nothing to see here. That's why it came across as like, are you the same person, Candace? Because this does not come across the same way. All she's doubling down on the Egyptian planes. That might be there might be something. I mean, if you point at everybody and say everybody's in on it, somebody's gonna be in on it because you could just turn it back to the real shooter, who it is. She is saying that Tyler Robinson is involved, so she's not saying he's not and he's an innocent man or anything like that, but he was put up to this. I wanted to take a look at what she said regarding the whole Turning Point family, because when she gets into this, she talks about, it seems they're not a perfect organization, so they have to be corrupt, and they have to have deliberately got involved with killing Charlie Kirk, which I think goes across the line and slanders a lot of people there, and I think that's why Erica wanted to put a stop to that. But let's hear what Candace has to say on this.
I believe that Charlie was betrayed by people that are close to him. And I asked that question in the meeting. I'm like, okay, if we can agree that everyone around, I was like, I know there are people at Turning Point, they're not good people, right? And it's feasible that people, if they have addictions, that you can definitively get yourself in a scenario where you are willing to sell somebody out. This is a massive organization. How can we so confidently state that nobody had anything to do with anything here? And I think that one of the
Just to say that, like, just because they're a massive organization, just to go immediately into, they planned and got involved with killing their boss, their best friend, their husband. I mean, her husband. That just because they're everywhere, there's corruption and everything because nobody's perfect. Every business, every company you work with, there's going to be shitty people everywhere. So there's nothing new there, but to just throw this on them, I think was way beyond the pale.
The things that Erica was like, well, I'm not like a feminist, and I didn't want the vibe of that, which I think it did come across like a bit of a feminist, to say like, this is all my family. I'm like, how could this all be your family? I know people in this family, and they're not good people. I wouldn't even do that with my own family, okay? I got people in my family, like we all do, who aren't exactly walking a straight arrow in life. And yeah, so I've communicated that. I have not.
All right, her just saying that, I think that's a good point. I mean, immediately when I first heard this and her talking about her describing that vulnerability of her own family and saying, there's people in my own family, you could tell she backed off a bit, because if we're real with everyone, it's maybe revealing a little bit too much in saying that, but we all understand that we have problems. I got problems. Everybody's got problems. Everybody's family is not perfect. We're not just rolling through this life in perfection. We're struggling. We just saw Rob Reiner, his son, murdered. Rob Reiner and his mom. So it's, with drug addiction, with whatever, anything, we go off a cliff. I mean, I think we are everybody is on a razor's edge, about to go off a cliff at any moment. Anybody could go off at a moment and just and screw up fundamentally huge and just ruin your life in an instant. We're all on that knife's edge. We walk that fine line every day. But bringing this up with Candace Owens, I think we wanted more. We wanted actually something to be there, and there wasn't anything really there. It's still all just too extreme conspiratorial. Like, I mean, this is not conspiracies. Like, these aren't wise conspiracies, because it feels like almost a government psyop that's been thrown down our throat just to disprove everything by accusing everybody. Like, you want to tarnish and taint the real thing that happened, because even if there was something that really happened, when you're just blanketly, with a shotgun just shooting and spreading everywhere and accusing everybody, it's like you can't really have a credibility of anything really. I would say nefarious happening, which the whole thing is nefarious. Charlie Kirk got murdered, but just like even deeper going on there. If you're just blanketly saying everybody's in on it, we can't hone in onto what actually happened. I think she should maybe try to restrict this a little bit and bring it in a little bit, concentrate it a little bit, because she's saying something with the Egyptian planes, and I know that's going towards, we're gonna switch it to Israel. Israel's behind this, and that's where she started off. That's where Ian Carroll's at. That's where a lot of people are at. Israel was the ones that built this up. They were the ones that planned and coordinated all this. That's nonsense, and I don't see that at all. If you just take a step back, that makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. Charlie Kirk loved Israel. You can try everybody, like even the most diehard people that are that love Israel, that are the Goyim, they're Gentiles, but they still support Israel. You aren't Jewish, so you're going to have always sometimes second thoughts, because Israel's not going to, unless you are just completely dying for them, they're not going to, if you're not saying everything perfect in line with the Israel mantra, they're going to disown you. That's why they're going to pull their donors from you, like they did for Charlie Kirk, in which you could see him, he was teetering and tottering, like, do I need to go out there and be outspoken about it? But it wasn't changing that he really did like and support Israel. He supported the Jewish people. I know there's this massive distinction between Israel, is Zionists, and the actual Jewish people that is going on. I'm not gonna just what I would say is you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. Because the cool thing is right now is you hate Israel. You hate Israel, and everything that they do is terrible and wicked, which they are a nation. They're a nation, just like are you going to say America is perfect? America's not perfect. Even though I bleed and die for America. I love America, but we have our stains and our guilts and our sins and everything that we've done. We're not perfect. But to bring everything that they are behind everything and they're the most evil thing in the world, you're like I said, if you're a goy and you support Israel, you're damned if you do, damned if you don't, because they're not perfect. Everybody hates Israel, and it's the cool thing to hate Israel, and they're behind they're the boogeyman behind everything. But that's not to say you have to be very nuanced, because they are behind a lot of things. But this about the murder and assassination of Charlie Kirk, which we know this is going with Candace Owens, that's the fallback. The fallback is land on Israel. Israel did it. That's why these Egyptian planes, which she's going to come out with more today, that these Egyptian planes are probably Israelis, which they might be. They might have been just stalking Erica Kirk and Charlie Kirk all those years, and still, they're probably watching us. They control a lot of things. I'm not blind to that, but she has just blanketly said everybody's involved in it. She crossed the line when she just started throwing Turning Point in on it. And then almost so many innocent people that were there that day, just saying that they were the ones that were in on it. They got the call. They were wearing a maroon t-shirt, so they were in on it. She's being just loose and wild with a lot of these conspiracies, and she's bringing a bad name to conspiracies, because if you make everything kooky, there's nothing real that's going to stand. That's what I would say to that. But there is some good out of all this. She is bringing light to all of this. She's bringing light to all of this so that these questions are being asked. She's probably tainting any jury pool that we could get to the bottom of it. So I don't know what's going on there, but it's interesting. I think she's blowing a lot of smoke. She's getting a lot of views. She's getting a lot of attention. But I think yesterday, with her massive nothing burger that came out and she revealed nothing, came away from her Turning Point conversation, and it ended up with, well, I know that they're bad. I know that there's something there, because they're bad people at Turning Point. Everybody's a bad person. Everybody's bad. Everybody's got, we got a corrupt nature in us. Everybody has a wicked heart. So even within the most healthy, beautiful church there's going to be corrupt people. That's why there's corruption in all of us. So yeah, but it doesn't mean that we cross the line and murder someone, All right, we'll leave it at that. Smash that like button. Follow me on X and Instagram at Brandon Fogel, and have a great day.